The Carolina Panthers had a chance last week to make a statement by not only pulling off a big win, but also taking over sole possession of first place in the NFC South. But with the Buccaneers now in firm control of first place and a relatively soft schedule upcoming, the Panthers have a major matchup this week with arguably the best team in the NFC and all of the National Football League on tap at home. Can the Panthers make a way despite going off base and off tendencies by running the ball, by throwing the ball more than they ran it? Or will they continue to try to lean on a passing game that has been questionably called? These stories and more on this edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Welcome back, Growlers. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on this edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Of course, you're growling with me as always, Mr. CeeLo. And guys, I must tell you, the disappointment is still there, lingering even after it's all been said and done. Hasn't had a minute to wear down, but guys, I must tell you, there is a break within us. As the Panthers welcome in arguably its toughest test of the season, and the bye looming, can we get back on track and start running the football again? I certainly do hope so. Hopefully, Canellis has learned from his mistakes from last week's game against the Niners and possibly come in and start doing what we had initially started doing early on in the season. Run the football and show these Rams what it's like to be the man. And put these offensive linemen in a position to be the effing man. Like Rico Dowdle, he runs like the effing man. And possibly getting Chuba Hubbard back involved like the effing man. Now here's a way that all of you can be the effing man. But guys, Mr. CeeLo and Growlin' and Prowlin' have their first sponsor. And guys, I must tell you, this is something that I believe in and I think every good man should have. You guys need to go by and check out this product. He builds it, fixes it, lifts it, breaks it, then builds it again. The world calls him a man. We call him an effing man. TF Man, the lotion made for hands that earned it. Crafted from grass-fed tallow, squalene, and grit. No flowers, no fluff, just results. TF Man by LV. You guys know what kind of man a TF man is? He's the man that gets it done. Just like me. Just like you. The one who doesn't need a filter. Like Mr. CeeLo. The one who doesn't need a hashtag or permission. He's not just a man. He's the effing man. And now he's got the lotion to match. What? TF Man, the whipped tallow cream from LV. Made from grass-fed beef tallow, squalene, and true grit. No chemicals, no perfume, just hand-earned hydration. For hands that build, lift, and live. Make sure you guys go online and check this out. Guys, I'm going to put the QR code up there on the screen. And if you guys put in the code FRIENDS20, you get 20% off your first order. Make sure you go over to their website. And guys, let me tell you, as a man that loves to look awesome and smell fabulous, this is perfect. I've been using it a couple of weeks, you guys, and I'm going to tell you, every time I get out the shower, I got to put it on my face and I got to put it on my hands. Because when you start getting to be my age, you got to start protecting all this, you guys, because guess what? The ladies not only like for you to look fabulous, they also want you to smell terrific. Guys, welcome back. As I said, I have been a huge proponent of TF Man, and also go by their website and check out those wonderful products that they have for your ladies as well. They're high quality products and you will not go wrong. But let us get into the meat and potatoes of this week's matchup, which is against the Los Angeles Rams, whom right now their quarterback, Matt Stafford, is looking like an MVP favorite. They also have a player that is on the same level as Kyron Williams and Chuba Hubbard, who is really running the football well. Their defense, however, is a pass rush type defense. Now, I'm not saying they can't run the football, but what I'm saying is we cannot do what we did last week, which is abandon the run. Now, many of you have continuously put out there that Bryce Young is not that dude. I am not going to sit here and give up on Bryce, because any player that's worth breaking the franchise record in passing yards in a game, and it's not just against the Falcons, and for many of you that did not know, the Falcons had a top 10 pass defense. So before we start talking about that, let us get to a point where we understand exactly what we're dealing with when we're dealing with the Rams. The Rams are a pass rush team. Jared Verse is very good, a very effective pass rusher, and they move him around. Canellis cannot deviate from what he has been doing weeks prior to the Atlanta game. No matter what Bryce does, if Bryce throws for 1,000 yards the next 2 weeks, the first and foremost we have to be is a running team. And if defenses are going to do like the Falcons, stick that many guys in the box, we have to be able to run the football. We have to be able to run the football. The only time we need to force feed Bryce doing his thing is unless the teams are not allowing us to run the football. And the Falcons were basically saying in a nutshell, we don't think you can throw it. The 49ers did not show they could stop the run. Guys, and when I tell you, the NFL is a week-to-week league, that's not just a whistling Dixie type thing. That's facts. You must be able to run the football in the National Football League, especially if that's your strength. When you have something that is your strength, you cannot deviate from it because you have a successful week throwing the football. And Canellis and the Panthers did that. You get to a point where you go away from your identity, which is running the ball, you're setting yourself up for failure. The reality of it is that's just like the Kansas City Chiefs right now. The Chiefs were a team that leaned heavily on its defense, and then they win games late with Patrick Mahomes' magic. They're not able to do that this season. I think they were, 12-0 last year in one-score games. This year, they're not winning at that clip this year. And in the National Football League, that is how you win close games. You can't even fathom the thought of going out here thinking that you can deviate from your identity when the team that you're opposing is giving you your identity. Last week, we averaged 5 yards a carry, and somebody's got to be in Canellis' ear telling him, look, I don't care how good Bryce looks. We got to stick with what we do and what we do well. And needless to say, we had 5 yards a pop from Chuba Hubbard to Rico Dowdle. We can't deviate from that because the 49ers kept us in their type of game. See, the Rams are going to play their game, and now we're going to have to do it without J.C. Horn and Christian Roseboom. Now, we did it last week exceptionally well without Trevin Wallace and Christian Roseboom. This week, we're going to be without Christian Roseboom, but we do get Trevin Wallace back. And then we're going to have to do it without Trevon Moehrig because of his suspension. So now we have to go and play defense against this juggernaut of a football team, and we're going to have to do exactly what the 49ers did to us. And remember, I told you guys that Shanahan gave Canellis a lesson. He schooled him. Now, he needs to take exactly what Shanahan taught him last week and apply it to the Rams game. We're going to have to run the football and throw it where we can. Now, we can't have Bryce throwing 3 interceptions in the game. But what we can do is learn that. Get Rico Dowdle the ball often and early. Get him going, and that way we can get big plays off a play action pass. That way we get some time for Bryce to get out in the pocket, get out on the perimeter, and get Ted McMillan the football. If we can do that, make the game long, have like an 8-minute drive, the first drive, and possibly hold the Rams to a 3-and-out, we got to be able to get turnovers. Because if you look at the way the game went, yes, it looked one-sided, but realistically, we had all the edge. We've got to encourage Bryce, if it's there, don't throw it. Run it. That has got to be in Bryce's head. Look, run it. We don't care. Guys have got to congratulate Bryce when he runs in for touchdowns and let him know, look, it's not a big deal if you don't get us the football. Because that opens things up later on. It's kind of like a 3-point shooter that finally pump fakes and goes around the guy. If all he does is jack up the 3 when he catches it, guess what? The defense is going to have a bead on it, and he's going to get in either a shooting slump or he's going to get shots blocked. If on occasion he delivers that pump fake, they're not going to close out as effectively, or they're not going to close out as aggressively. You get to a point where teams are just saying, hey, he ain't going to always throw that thing. Pump fake, Bryce, pump fake. We've got to run the football. Because this is going to be one of those games where we're out of options at the secondary. Now, we have got to make sure that we protect our secondary. We're not getting much of a pass rush. Morgan's going to be out. Now, Lathan Ransom's a big hitter, but, there's some questions about his coverage skills. I mean, he's not great, but he's not bad either. Damani Richardson's probably going to get some major snaps in this game. As I said, Trevor Wallace, the big hitter, will be back, but he's probably going to have to wear the green dot. Now, he's done well with it, but realistically, we are going to have to slow the pace of the game down. We're going to have to take shots. That's what's going to have to be in Canellis' game plan. Coker's going to have to be big. XL's going to have to be big. And Ted McMillan's going to be big. I think the other thing is Canellis went away from trying to get the ball to his tight ends. You cannot be sitting here, even the interception that he threw to Ted. Why is Ted running something short? Ted doesn't need to be running the short stuff. It needs to be the tight ends. I don't know how many more times I have to be clear about this. You don't need to have your receivers eating up short stuff. That needs to be your top-notch tight ends. You did that against the Falcons and it worked. Stop trying to deviate from plan. Run the football. Get your tight ends eating up the middle and get your big guys eating up the outside like they're supposed to.
Dumb shit. Dumb shit. Dumb shit.
On the defensive side, all we can hope to do is control Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is thrown for 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He is on a remarkable pace, you guys. I mean, you're talking about a dude that could very well hit 50 scores this year. Now, granted that, 12 touchdowns in 3 games, or was it 4? I think it was 3 touchdowns and 12 touchdowns in 3 games, or was it 16 touchdowns in 4? Either way, it's a remarkable feat with no interceptions. None. 0. Now, I'm not saying Stafford has not put the ball in harm's way, but when you've got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and no J.C. Horn, Ichiro Evero is going to have to do his level best to shut down Nacua. And what's got to happen is Canellis is going to have to go in a lot of creative ways to get Ted involved. Confuse the Rams defense as well. But listen, the reality of it is this defense is going to have to be very, very creative. We cannot afford to let the Rams just methodically move down the field. Now, I'm not saying we let them just go over the top, but we can't just let them methodically go down the field. Shanahan did that last week and had 2 long drives. I think one was over 8 minutes and the other one was over 6. That's a quarter right there. We have got to get to a place where we're not only running the football, but we're controlling the pace and the tempo. We have to make sure we're controlling the pace and they're having to run our way. We can do that, then things will happen that will be on our side. We can't do that, then it's going to be a long day. And the Rams will walk the dog on you. It's not going to be like the Niners did, real quiet, methodical. You think you got a chance, and then all of a sudden they slam the door late in the game. That's not how the Rams do it. The Rams can. You saw what they did to the Bucs. They beat the Bucs down. Now, granted, no Mike Evans, and I think Godwin's played in this game, but like I said, the Rams basically put Baker Mayfield in the hurt locker. This Rams defensive front four is nasty. They're mean and they're quick. The only way we're going to be able to win this game, we better be able to run the ball. And Canellis, you better have some creative run juice or we are going to have problems. Jared Verse ain't no joke. This secondary of the Rams can be had, but you got to be able to protect the QB. And you're going to have to use some throws where you just absolutely take shots. We have not done that with Tet. Everything's been simple. And I get it. Tet's had problems with drops, but let's keep it respective. You got to keep going to him. Same thing with XL. Same thing with Coker. Tight ends, etc. Jimmy Horn needs to get more involved. Not just sitting here running back and forth looking like he's weaving and wobbling and giving the ball. Make the Rams have to respect the motion. They don't respect the motion when you don't use it. Force the Rams to look at that motion and say, I wonder if he's going to get it. Make those linebackers move so that way we're able to get Rico Dowdle in some open space. He is such an aggressive runner. We have to figure out ways to get him the ball and set up downfield throws. Be able to keep Jared Verse from just rushing up the field out of control. Ultimately, I do see the Rams winning this game, but there's so many of y'all out there that are talking upset. I am hoping for the upset. If we can run the ball, I will give you guys a prediction that if we look at the box score and we win the time of possession and rush yards, we'll win the game. That's without turnovers. But if we can win the turnover battle and Bryce doesn't turn the ball over, let's say Bryce doesn't turn it over. If Bryce doesn't turn the ball over and we can get at least one turnover, we can win this game. So keys to this game, let's do this. Needs to the game: a turnover, 150 yards on the ground, time of possession 35 minutes. If we can get those three things in the box, Panthers win. But let me know what you guys think about the Panthers' shot against the Los Angeles Rams, arguably the best team in the National Football League. Do the Panthers have a shot? Please let me know down in the comments. And if there's something I said that you did not like, or if you just want to say get well JC, or want to tell your favorite player to get back, get healthy real soon, please do so. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show. Make sure you put your name down when you subscribe to the show and hit that bell notification so you can get all the shows when they drop. Next, go over to Facebook and hit yourself up and join the group at Growlin' and Prowlin', as well as add us as a friend. Finally, go to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo so you can keep up with all the in-season and off-season shenanigans that I will be caught up in. But until the next time, don't forget to leave your mark while prowling the airwaves and growling out. Keep pounding.